Alright guys, so today we're going to be designing a keychain. So this is the keychain, and mine says Shiva Robotics, but you guys are going to make yours to be your name or whatever you want. Alright, so to start off, we're going to go to Tinkercad and click Create New Design. And that'll take us into our workspace, and we can see our work plane. And if you're new to Tinkercad, on the left here we have our little box, and that helps us rotate. On the right, we have all of our shapes, and all 3D designing is made from using basic shapes to form more complex shapes. So that's why we have our basic shapes here on the right. And also on the left here, we have some of our settings. So the only one that we're going to be changing today is the last one. And if you click on it, it's going to change our view to a more flat view. That just makes our modeling a little bit easier. Also on the right, we're going to change our grid. So we're going to change our units that we're going to be working with. So right now it's in millimeters, and we want to use inches. So if you go to the right here, if you click Edit Grid, it shows you a setting for units. So I'm going to click on Units, and then I'm going to click Inches. And then I'm going to click Update Grid. So now my grid is updated, and it's in inches. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do for my keychain is I'm going to click on my top view, and I'm going to bring out a box. So now I brought out my box. I'm going to change the dimensions of my box. So it says 1 by 1, so 1 inch for the length and 1 inch for the width. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change the length of my width. So my width is going to be 2 inches instead of 1 inch. Alright, so now I'm going to also give this kind of a curve, so a radius. So if you guys look at the right, there's a setting, the first setting, it says radius. So if you move that up, you can kind of give it a curve. So whatever you prefer, I'm going to use, let's see what number looks good. I'm going to use 0.18 just because I kind of like that number. You can make yours as much as you want or as small as you want. Alright, so next I'm going to change the height. So the height of my little cube here is 1 inch, and I want it to be 0.25. So I'm just going to type in 0.25 after I click the little white dot and click enter, and it should change my height. Alright, so now if you want to go ahead and change the color, you can. So to change the color, you click on your object, click on solid, and then click the color that you want. So I want mine to be, let's see, I want mine to be blue. So I'm going to click back on the top, and now I'm going to add some text. So I'm going to click work plane here at the top right, and then click on the top of my little keychain. Then I'm going to go all the way down on the right and click on the option that says text. I'm going to drag out text. And now, if I type something in the text box, it'll show up. So I'm going to type in Shiva Robotics. Alright, so now we have that. And I'm going to make this a lot smaller than it is right now. So I'm just going to drag that in like that. Now I'm just going to move this. And there's no real units for this, no real measurements, so I'm just going to move it and make it as small as I want so it can fit on the keychain and it looks good. So I might have to play around with it a little bit, but I think I've kind of found the sweet spot. So I'm going to move it like that, and if you're having trouble that your text is kind of snapping too much, what you can do is you can go on the right and click on the option that says Snap Grid, and then you can just turn it off. And now my model will move a lot easier. So now I can center it a lot easier, kind of like that. You can also change the text of your text. You can also change the font of your text, sorry. And mine is in multi-language. You can change it to Sans, San Monaco, or Serif. And those are the options that you have there. So next I'm just going to click on work plane again, and then just click anywhere on my workspace. Now I'm going to change the height of my text and also the color. So I'm going to first change the height by clicking on my text. I'm going to click on the top dot here, and it says ½ inch. We want that to be very small. I'm going to type in 0.06. Alright, so now our little text is on top of our keychain. The next thing that we can do is change the color of our text. So I'm going to change it, click on solid, I'm going to change it to yellow to keep with the theme, yellow and blue. Alright, Next, we want to give our keychain a little handle so it can be a real keychain. So to do that, I'm going to go to the right and click on cylinder, and I'm going to drag out a cylinder. I'm going to make my cylinder 0.5 inches by 0.5. So I'm just going to click on one of the little white dots here at the edge. I'm going to type in 0.5, and for the other one, I'm also going to type in 0.5. Next, I'm going to go up to the right. I'm going to bring out the cylinder, but I'm going to bring out the one that looks like a hole. So this one here at the top. And then I'm going to change the units of this. So this is going to be 0.25 by 0.25. So for the length, it's going to be 0.25. For the width, it's going to be 0.25. So that's 1/4 of an inch. Next, I'm going to select both of my cylinders and go up here to the right where it says align, or you can press L, and I'm going to just click align. And then I'm just going to click on the center dot. So I'm going to click on this center dot and then this center dot. So now they're both perfectly centered to each other. And now I'm going to select both of these, and I can move them as a group. So I've selected both. Now I can move them like that. I'm going to move it to position it kind of where I like it on the keychain. Alright, that looks good. So now I'm going to change the color of my little loop. I'm going to click on solid, and I'm going to click yellow. I'm also going to change the height. So I want the height to be the same as my keychain. So for the height, I'm going to click on it. I'm going to click height, and I'm going to change my height to 0.25 as well. So 1/4 of an inch. And it doesn't matter if your little hole is longer, because the hole is going to disappear in a second when we group everything together. What we can also do is we can change some of the settings of our cylinder. If you click on the cylinder, you can change the sides and turn it all the way up so it looks smooth. And you can also turn up the segments all the way up too, so now it looks really smooth. Alright, so now if I go to my top view, I'm going to select everything and click group here at the top. And now when I click group, everything groups together, but we have one problem. Everything turns into one color. And so in order to get our color back, all we have to do is click on solid and click on the option that says multicolor here at the bottom. And then now we should see our object with our different colors, and it should still be one solid object all merged together. That is how you make a keychain.